So, who is Jesus Christ? One thing that I can describe him as is he is a family member. He knows the whole family of God the Father. Heavenly Father is our parent. We are all his spirit children, everybody on this earth who has lived or who's living now. And Jesus Christ is the Son of God who remembers the Father and the whole plan for the family. And Jesus specifically said he would basically be our partner, our friend. He doesn't want any of us to have to go through life alone. And as anybody comes to earth and is living in our experience now and becoming what we get to grow up to be as a child of God, Jesus wants to do it with us. One of the great purposes, maybe I could say the great purpose of his atonement, is that he would learn our part of the story, and learn who we are and what it is we are becoming and trying to do. And he will do it with us. As long as we partner up with him and want to do it that way, we don't ever have to do what we're doing here alone. And then Jesus, since he knows the whole story, he can help us do our part of it to the best effectiveness, I think is how I would say it. And so, whatever it is we are trying to accomplish and what we are trying to become, we can ask him, how do I do this? And he can help us do it better and enjoy it more. And he just really wants all of us to go back to the whole family gathering after this whole project is over, when we've all grown up some and we're moving on to what comes next. Heavenly Father would like us all to be there, to come back to him and to choose to stay with him forever. And Jesus is going to be there, and he is trying to gather us all up and invite us and remind us and help us to get there too, and not get left out. And this is we're coming to the end of the world here, so Jesus has been doing it a long time with a lot of people, but we are all super important to him, and he is certainly not stopping or slowing down now. And if we partner with him and ask him what's going on, and get his wisdom about where we should be right now and what we should be doing and who we should become, then we would end up with him enjoying the experience, being in the Father's presence after this life, after our lives. And we will see God the Father and Jesus again, face to face, if we don't see them sooner, and after we've died. And it would just be wonderful. And that's totally what Heavenly Father hopes for us, and Jesus totally is on board with that. He knows what the Father wants, and he wants the same thing. And so both of them together are hoping that we'll succeed at this, and that we'll have had a lot of joy spending our time on this earth and making progress on who we are. And for sure, I like the word helper for who Jesus is that way. I also just like the word family. And Jesus knows what it's like. Lots of us have not had good family experiences all the time. There's negative stuff happening in life, and that's the nature of the world. And Jesus is one family member who we could all have, who would be with us in our good and our bad times, and we could have good experiences with him. And he knows what it's like also in his own earthly experience. Continuing to interact with us now, he knows what it's like to also have sad times and hard times and confusing times with family. But but he still keeps in mind the big picture, and he still knows what the plan is and the end from the beginning, and he and the Father are in close communication about everything. And so again, if we choose Jesus, then we are just close to the Father also. And so in that way, Jesus is kind of the mediator is a good way to put it, that he is a go-between. He's there in between with our relationships in this family, and when things are confusing or hard, or we're not sure where to go, what to do, we may even find that we have an issue with God today, Jesus is somebody who is interested in making everything work. He loves family and God's family, and he's determined that if it's up to him, this whole thing is going to succeed. We're going to be a big happy family together and learn how to do that.